pursuit of making India retirement ready and fostering industry dialogue on the different dimensions of retirement planning, a flagship retirement conclave titled India Retirement Insight Summit was recently held in New Delhi, which brought together thought leaders and industry experts to discuss critical aspects of retirement planning and wealth management. The conclave kicked off with the welcome address by the MD and CEO of Max Life Insurance, Prashant Tripathi.
As we progress, I think the matter of retirement is going to become exceedingly important. And I'd like to begin by sharing a few facts with you. Fact number one is average life expectancy in India is about 71.5 years. In 50s, this number used to be half. And by 2050, this number will be close to 78 years, which means we are going to live longer. The second one is, and you'll be surprised to know, that about only 17% people in India work in organized sector where there is some form of retirement or retirals or retirement benefits available. Socially, we will give our left and right arms for our kids, their education, their well-being, but when it comes to our own plan, we are sluggish, it takes us long, and it's perhaps the last thing that we end up doing. And I think all that comes together to create a monstrous problem about how poorly we plan our own retirement. It is more important to create awareness around retirement as a need. And this one is a very humble effort made by us along with Kantar to talk about retirement, which often gets ignored, which often doesn't get discussed, and it is left to fate. I would like to finish by saying that retirement shouldn't be an event that we should fear. Retirement is something that we should look forward to.
Next up was the official launch of the 4th edition of IRIS, or India Retirement Index Study. This annual study, conducted by Max Life Insurance in partnership with Kantar, aims to understand how prepared urban India is for retirement. The launch was followed by the first panel discussion of the evening titled Blueprint for a Dream Retirement, Planning for Life After Work, which was moderated by CNBC-TV18's Mridu Bhandari.
I want to begin with this first trend, Prashant, with you, that we are seeing around the world. It's called FIRE, Financial Independence, Retire Early. So do you think in 2024, retirement planning has fundamentally shifted because people are actually accumulating resources for future growth and evolution? And what are some of the other trends that you are seeing which are changing the landscape?
Retirement in the context of India is beyond the concept of FIRE. It is more bread and butter. It's more dal roti. It's about retiring at the age of retirement, which is 58 to 60 years, and still having enough money to lead your life. But what I will say is definitely awareness is building. Definitely there is a concerted effort which is taking place from corporates, from government, from regulators to not just build awareness, but also provide tools and solutions which will enable one to plan for retirement in a more optimal way.
Right. Naina, coming to you. Now, is this yearning for long-term security and yet having an enjoyable retirement reflective of a more mindful consumer today, a more mindful society, especially in the urban context? How will this societal shift and this transformation really impact the quality, the transparency we expect in every facet of life post-retirement, whether it's the air we breathe, the food we eat? Your thoughts?
I think we've got this huge juxtaposition of a change in terms of age profile on the one hand, and on the other, even our ability to save. Then comes the question on the aspiration. And I think there are many trends here. Young people also spend like we never spent. So there's a consumerism on the one hand, a desire to live for today, but also I'm glad to hear a need and understanding of what needs to happen tomorrow. And I think we have to continue to build on that. And we're at a very interesting point in the country where savings into investments have finally begun to happen. So I think we've at a very good inflection point to begin this education, but I don't think we're there as yet in terms of embracing that opportunity.
Yeah, clearly big opportunity and long way to go before we fully embrace it. You spoke about pension, and if I can come to Amit with that, now only about 12% of India's population actually has access to formal pension schemes. What more can we do structurally? What more needs to be done from a regulation perspective to draw more people into participating in formal pension schemes?
Sure. So, see, a lot of awareness has to be spread in terms of making people invest into pension products. People are also looking for open architecture. If you look at mutual funds, you can buy, you can sell, there are no lock-ins anymore. So people are looking for more convenience of switching. So if you look at NPS, I have the ability to switch from one pension fund manager to another pension fund manager, right? That flexibility to work with brand A or brand B or brand C gives me immense control. And when I have control, I have the discipline also. If I can marry my planning and discipline into something which is accumulating my corpus, I think I would be very comfortable with the fact that I'll be retirement ready after a stipulated period of time, right?
Shubrata, now IOCL has something called the eSambandh portal, where you actually encourage all your employees to access details about their pension, about their superannuation, other retirement-related schemes that they can invest in. Beyond streamlining the flow of information, what kind of significance and what kind of impact does something like this have on employees? And does it kind of help them also retain their corporate identity in a way post-retirement?
eSambandh is a web-based portal primarily for the retired and superannuated employees. Also, on-roll employee can have access into it. There are many benefits. Basically, this is for the post-retirement medical scheme, which is extremely important for any retired officer employees, because money is very much nowadays, medical expenditure has gone up so much, and people want to get security in the medical area. That is the most expensive area. So therefore, PRMS is a very important thing. So we have launched this scheme, and there are many benefits.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, our panelists, and huge round of applause for them, please. Thank you.
The next session explored how to build a future without fear and was moderated by Gautam Srinivasan.
The big question is, how do you build a future from the new? And well, we've crafted a conversation for you to assuage your concerns, remove the fear of the new, and take your future head on. So on that note, we'll begin a short fireside chat with Ankur and Rahul. And Ankur, we'll start with you on, of course, what you have achieved. You've scaled new peaks as an educator, as a finance professional. So the list just goes on and on. The question I have for you, though, before we get to the retirement part of things, is that considering you're managing success on a present basis, how does it give you bandwidth to plan for the future? What would you say to that?
I love Gautam's question because there's a certain sense of optimism built in my own personality, in the ecosystem that we are all a part of, in my own credentials of having navigated a lot of failure and risen from that or been able to overcome those, that I know मैं ठीक ही रहूँगा. I know that if I don't make a lot of stupid mistakes, all is well, all is well. I feel that we are very privileged that our bottom is capped in many ways and the upside is for us to discover and uncover. And I thank my parents a lot because of their hard work that they have gotten us to this point. And then I'm like, I think I've done well enough to know that I will be sorted. I've taken the right decisions in many ways. And now it's just being disciplined about it, not being crazy, not trying to fetch a shortcut in any way. And life then miraculously compounds and compounds well. Because I ask this question every day. What is the number that you're chasing in life? And I get often two responses. एक response होता है 50 लाख रुपए. And like पता नहीं तुम किस ज़माने में रह रहे हो या किस देश में रह रहे हो या किस environment में रह रहे हो. You think because where you are that 50 lakhs is going to cover your entire life? No. And the other answer is कम से कम 1000 crore रुपए. Which is like, you have no
Wow.
idea of what is going to happen if you get even 1 crore, forget how to manage 1,000. And it's crazy that you don't know what number you're chasing. It's almost like you're running a race, but you don't know where the finish line is. So what's going to happen is you'll continue running that race forever, ever. You're never going to know when to stop, when to opt out of the corporate race, when to perhaps pursue something that is your purpose, when to really slow down, when to make choices very differently from what you made in life. It is extremely important for you to know what number you're chasing. And that number cannot be some random number pulled out of thin air. It needs to be, as was stated, an Excel sheet calculation with conservative numbers, with all predictions built in. And it's frankly not a tough job. And if you don't know how to do it, there are enough and more calculators online that will get you there. But have that number in your mind. And once you get to that number, where it is a disciplined approach to get to it, hopefully start looking at life differently. Because then you know you don't have to follow that same process that you have all your life.
Absolutely. Rahul, let me get you in to comment on the dynamics when we look at, from different age brackets, their thinking.
I think what's coming out is that retirement today, largely, if you were to not only look at it as a number, but maybe also as an emotion. Because again, it's future gazing, right? It's future gazing, not 2 years, 5 years, you're future gazing 10 years, 20 years, maybe beyond that as well. What we have seen that there is a very interesting composition of some financial quotient to this retirement conversation. There is a huge play of health quotient as well, that how fit am I today, how fit am I going to be in the future, am I going to cover for any health exigency that I may be having or not? And again, something that Naina spoke about in the previous panel about this entire emotional ecosystem. And what with the gig workers or this younger audience that we have seen is that the consistency around how they see their financial quotient or financial preparedness, I think is something that we have seen as the big opportunity coming out from this study that we've just released.
On that note, Ankur, Rahul, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation.
Thank you, Gautam.
Welcome, gentlemen. And hello again, dear audience. Ranbir, if I may start with you first. We've seen that data point that 1 out of 3 Indians feels that they're unprepared for retirement. Even though we are starting to prepare for retirement early, we are worrying a lot more. We are also worried that we are going to exhaust our funds perhaps in the first 5-6 years of retirement. What's your advice then to those who are starting early? How do we build out that retirement planning roadmap?
First and foremost thing that one needs to do is make retirement a priority list in their financial planning. Because retirement is inevitable. This is going to happen to all of us. All of us want to live long. Anybody sitting here in the room, would agree that, we all want to live long. And with the kind of healthcare coming in and the life expectancy at 60, which is now touching 78, we are talking about life expectancy at birth, which is 72, 75, but at 60, it is 78. With the medical advancements happening, this is only going to increase. So first, make this a priority in the list. Only once it becomes a priority in your list in terms of financial planning, then I think a very simple mantra rather than strategy, I would say is, and all the cricket lovers would know this term, DRS. For me, DRS is disciplined, regular savings. So it's important that we have a discipline into our savings.
Sanjeev, I know that at Yes Bank, you are collaborating with a number of insurtech platforms. Give us some examples of what you're able to offer to the consumer today. What is the objective? And as far as retirement planning and retirement products are concerned, what are the kind of uptake and the feedback that you've got from your customers?
We have seen very, very innovative kind of products, both on investment side, insurance side, which we have been able to deliver to our customers. For example, a chai wala wanting to invest in an Apple share is possible through fractional investing. Now, there is a fintech company which actually is making a chai wala invest in an Apple share which is listed in London, New York Stock Exchange. It is not a listed Indian stock. So you actually have those ideas which you can take to your consumers. Of course, you have to keep in mind the risks that are necessarily associated, because sometimes some of these products may not be well understood by the customer. So when we look at a framework of partnership, whether it is with fintechs or insurtechs, we do keep in mind the regulatory compliance as well as customer and their ability to comprehend the products that are getting offered to them. The second part around retirement, I always say that there are only two risks in life. One is dying early, another is living too long. Both are real risks. If you die early, the dependents are serious danger of not just going through an emotional distress, but also a financial distress. If you are living too long, and dependents may or may not go through it, but you will definitely go through a financial distress. So both situations need to be planned.
Well, Ashish, if I can come to you, you work with a lot of elders, senior citizens. Where do you see the biggest points of divergence in the retired life that we all imagine when we are young and the rude shocks that we sometimes face when we actually do retire?
For people who are in retirement, the retirees, for them the needs actually change quite dramatically. Their needs tend to be much more social and emotional, and that too not very complicated. Three things give them joy. People to talk to, which we all understand. Places to go to. The role of travel and the role of going out becomes tremendously important in their lives. And the need to continue to be needed. Sense of purpose or, whatever you say. And so the whole sort of framework is around three things. The one wish they have, the two worries that they have, and the three joys. The three joys I already told you about, what gives them pleasure. So that is something when people think about it and know about it when they have retired, but if they think about it earlier on, they'll be better prepared. That comes as a shock, that, I didn't think that I would need people around me, and now I do. Where do I get them?
With that, I want to come to you, Kamaraju. As far as Nokia is concerned, it's a multinational company. How do you segregate your portfolio of pension plans? How do they operate in different parts of the world? And how do you ascertain what the post-retirement socio-economic realities of different employees are going to be, say, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now, while you define their objectives while designing the pension funds?
Each and every employer should educate the employees, because most of the employees working at 15, 20, 30 years. So we should focus on the post-retirement survey. Like you need to create a more awareness to the employees. What is your cost of the living? What is the healthcare expenses? Like already spoken. We need to create the mandate. And second, do some collaboration with the experts, tax consultants, tax coverages, cost of living, inflations. All these points we need to discuss so that people can understand the future requirement, future post-income details and everything.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for those incredible insights on how we can have a much more secure and fulfilling retired life. Round of applause for our panelists here, please. Thank you very much.
The upcoming session explored Ace badminton player Saina Nehwal's perspectives on how to secure a champion's legacy, both in sports and in life.
So I think as a sports person, when I started playing was age of 9, and you have a very short career as a sports person. You can maximum play till 35, 36.
True.
But initially when I started playing, it was all about my mother's dream. She wanted me to be an Olympic medalist. And I'm following her steps, and of course I didn't know what to do with, if I don't know if money is going to come or I'm going to achieve something. I just left it to my father, let's see what is going to happen in the future. So one fine day, I got this contract. It was my first contract at the age of 16, and it was like a huge amount. And Papa didn't tell me, but I could see, because I'm in that meeting of the people who are talking about this contract, and he said, मैंने कहा 16 साल की उम्र में इतना salary मिल रहा है जो पापा को retirement में मिला. And I'm like, ये क्या हो रहा है? And he was laughing at me, Saina, ये क्या है?
Was that the motivation for you?
No. I was just laughing at that कि ये कैसे हो सकता है badminton में? Nobody got this kind of money before me.
That's
it was
true.
How I started badminton, like इतना change हुआ है मेरे जीतने के बाद जो पहले नहीं था. And the amount of money which is come in now is just like, it was when Gopi won the All England Championship in 2001, he got 2 lakhs. And now it's close to 1.5 crore, the amount of winning that tournament. So you see the things are changing and it's going better. But you know, that that day I didn't ask him anything because I was like, if I ask something, he's going to tell you, shut up and sit. But today when I ask him, aapne kya kiya uska?
Yeah.
You know, how did you put that and where did you put that money? So वो बोलते हैं कि as a government employee पहली चीज़ तो तेरा घर खरीदा है मैंने मुझे तेरा घर चाहिए और I want कि साइना बोल सके proudly that I have a house. And then of course mutual funds and fixed deposits, इसकी बात तो रोज़ ही होती है, कब नहीं होती है, मम्मी भी परेशान हो गई है इन चीज़ों से. पापा कीप टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट कि बेटा ये सब होना चाहिए, मैं नहीं रहूँगा तो याद रखेगी कि ये सब मैंने तेरे लिए किया है. एंड बाकी चीज़ें, यू नो, आई लाइक टू बाई स्पोर्ट्स कार्स, आई लाइक टू बाई कुछ ऐसा शॉपिंग का ये सब स्टफ, आई लाइक टू बाई ऑल दिस थिंग्स. बट आई डोंट रियली चेक ऑन कि मैं उस पार्ट में क्या कर सकती हूँ ना जहाँ पे अच्छी इन्वेस्टमेंट होनी चाहिए. बट जैसे पापा ने बोला कि प्रॉपर्टीज़ खरीदनी चाहिए, so finally I have now 2 houses in Dubai as well. So I am happy that, you know, I have bought quite a few properties which are good enough that I can live my life, you know, with that.
But that's creditable. Prashantji, we have had some very insightful, very invigorating conversations here, and her father had that foresight and had invested, you know, your hard-earned money.
It's done really well, and I'm so proud that he was like, बेटा एक पैसा भी तेरा जो पैसा है वो इतना मेहनत का पैसा है because तेरे नी टूट गई है finally, you know. I have this cartilage injury now. I've got arthritis, and he's like, I respect your money so much that it's because of not के 9 to 5 का job बैठ के करा तूने. You know, it's every day of killing yourself on the court for 10 to 11 hours. And then I really appreciate your efforts. And जहाँ पे भी मैं ठीक से तेरे लिए लगा सकूँ, वही मेरा सपना था. And today I'm so proud that he was really right in every way.
But you know, Saina, credit goes to you. You were talking the kind of increments that you've seen, the money coming in from 2 lakhs to 1 crore. I think credit goes to Saina, you know, putting India on the world map and being the trendsetter. Who would have known badminton in this cricket-obsessed country that we live in? You may have announced your retirement, but you have left an indelible mark in our hearts, our minds. Let's have a huge round of applause for Saina Nehwal. It's been such a wonderful conversation, Saina.